morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Glory with RealTalk WithNthabi. I hope you're having a good morning, guys. Let me have a sip. A very good morning to you. It's another beautiful day, a new day to keep going, a new day to keep pushing, a new day to make things happen. All right, so I'm super excited again today. I'm always excited, by the way. So let me just start by introducing myself. My name is Nthabi, for those that don't know who I am. So this is Real Talk with Nthabi, a channel where you can expect everything empowerment and transformation, be it in your personal life, be it in your business. So today we're going to have a little bit of both, where we touch a little bit on your business side, your perspective in terms of business, and also your personality, just as a personal brand as well. So this is really about your business and yourself. So please enjoy this, and please make sure that you pay attention to what I'm about to say and somehow find, a better way of understanding it. And if you have any opinion, if you have anything to share, you are welcome to share. All right, Delhi. Welcome, Delhi. You definitely made it on time, and you are actually the first one. How beautiful. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that you're having a good morning. I hope you're having a good morning there. All right. So, like I said, today's video is really a touch of you as a person, and of course, you as a business or as a brand. So it can be a personal brand, or if you are even thinking of doing something, either starting a business, if you are thinking of, applying some kind of upgrade in your personal brand and putting in some work, it could be anything. So just stick around, okay? Having a great one. I like that. I love good mornings. If you're having a good one, you made my day, honey. You made my day. All right. So we're just gonna go and push. And those that join us will join us later. And of course, if you're watching this after we went live, it's okay. Still engage on the comment section and just, tell us how you feel about the topic for today. Is it something that you are concerned about? Is it something that has affected you at some point? So yeah, let's do that. Now we're going to post the first question. So the first question for the day, Delhi, is this question right here. What does it mean to be competitive? So this is a topic that we are engaging on, because I think before I start or explain the topic, good morning. Before I start the topic, I think it's important for us to understand that competition is there, it exists, but the main question is being competitive a need, or it's overrated? Should you consider competing with other people, or you should just stay on your lane and not even bother? So that is the question. Now, when we think of the word competitive, what does it mean to be competitive? So being competitive, it means that you want to be better than other people. You want to do better in something. You want to excel more than others do. And of course, being what competitive also means that you somehow have you're an engaged person, you care about your winnings, you care about, you're courageous to see things happen, right? So some can explain it in a different way. But now I want us to broaden it and look at it in both aspects, not just focusing on the fact that you are competing with others just because you want to look better or do better. I want us to now open our minds to understanding the bigger picture of competition, right? So what are the advantages when it comes to, being competitive? So advantages can be the fact that if you have a business, for example, or if you're a brand, you produce a product, or there's some kind of service that you're offering, it means that you can produce better work or better quality work than others, the people that you are somehow competing with. Let's say, for example, it's a brand that is like similar to what you are doing. So if that's the case, it means that chances are you look at ways to make your product better and better offers, even the costs and all of those things. So you make it very favorable for a client. Yeah, that's the word. Now, when also we think of the term like competitive advantage, we also need to consider understanding that traditionally it kind of explains the business aspect. So more in the business world, where it's applied in like organizations and businesses. And when you think of businesses that are making it out there, businesses that are just flourishing, let's compare banks. I think banks can be one example that we can compare. Does bank compete? I believe that they do. And how they compete, they always try to give you better than what another company can do. They try to give you better rates than what another bank can give you. They reduce certain rates. Like there's always a way where they will try to make your offering better than what the other brands or the other company would give you or the other bank would give you. So that's how they actually do it. All right. So that is something that you should look into. But now we also have the disadvantage of being competitive. So now what are those disadvantages? So the disadvantage of being competitive is that you get to have like unfavorable circumstances where, for example, there's disappointment in the business and you don't actually get to achieve what you wanted to achieve, and you lose out on business and all of that. So that could be a little bit of a disadvantage. All right. So let me go to the comments. Let me check the comments and then I'll continue. Good morning. Good morning, try. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Ladile. Good morning. Good morning. Deliwa says, competition is necessary in business. As you say, you will try to do better, and perhaps without competition, you would be too comfortable doing the minimum stuff. I like that point. I like that point because you are bringing both perspective in the picture. And what you're doing is that you are showing the necessity of competition in a business perspective, and also giving a reason why, if you don't compete, what could be, the challenge in that space. So I like that. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that. I'm rambling. Hello, honey. I'm here for the good vibes. Yay, I'm here for the good vibes. It's a good morning to have a good morning as usual. So it's good vibes all the way, all the way. Good morning, Sivu. Welcome. Good morning. So true, Deli. Yes, I definitely agree with Deli as well, because Deli is really giving what I'm actually emphasizing, a bigger perspective of a competition and how we should really look into it. Because we think of competition in one angle. we look at it in one angle where we think, should I compete? What are the disadvantages? What are the advantages? Now, as I just explained, if you just join in, you'll catch up, honeys, but I think you didn't miss too much. A competitive disadvantage, that's where we were looking at. And a disadvantage can be many things, guys. You know, there could be many disadvantages. It can be measured by, you know, how other competitors are doing, how they are excelling, how they are striving in their brands compared to yours. So the disadvantage could be the angle that you might be taking in business might be totally different or not favorable to clients, right? Now, let's think about SWOT analysis. Who knows SWOT analysis? Who knows SWOT analysis, guys? And do you understand the importance of SWOT analysis? Do we understand it? SWOT analysis. So, SWOT analysis is one way of also looking at this bigger picture of a competition. Now, what do you look for in a SWOT analysis? So, first of all, the S stands for the strength, right? So when you run a business or when you're about to embark in a business journey, you're going to start by checking, okay, what are the SWOT analysis? You're going to do a SWOT analysis. So you check your strengths, the strengths for your business. What strengths do you have and what can you do better compared to others? You check your weaknesses because the weaknesses also have a way of, you know, helping you in terms of checking, okay, am I in the right space? Am I doing this the right way? Am I going to engage my business better? And if I am not doing it better, those are the weaknesses. How can I improve on that, right? Opportunities. Opportunities is the gap that you get to see out there. Okay, there's a gap. So there's a gap. I can see that that company is actually similar to what my company does. So it means that they are my competitors, but now I'm seeing a gap that I can fill. So when you see that opportunity, it means that you can, you know, somehow fill in that gap and make sure that you give your best in that particular area. And of course, we have the threats. Now, the threats is now where, yes, I love Sbongile. She's putting them up. Let me just put her comment. Yes, mommy. Yes, mommy. Yes, girl. Sbongile, you know, she even like put them in order. Strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So I was now talking about threats, right? So what are the threats when it comes to you thinking about being competitive and all that? So the threats that you might have is when a business is actually striving more than yours and you are in a similar field, for example. So they become your threat because, wow, you guys are doing the same thing, right? But now they are actually pushing more, or their service offering is way better than yours, or how they actually target their market is way better than yours. So now this is something that you might want to consider also to check, like, okay, what would limit me from succeeding in business? What will limit me from actually creating a good brand? What will be that limit, right? So those are things that you need to think about. All right. Good morning, Brenda. Welcome to the morning glory, honey. Good morning. Good morning. We are talking about, is it okay to be competitive or is it not? Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next point. What is the next point? All right. So here's my perspective when it comes to competition. Or let's answer this question first. Is competition overrated? Is competition overrated? Do you feel like it's overrated and we really focus too much on it? Is that what you think? Is that what you think? Okay, guys, let me quickly think about it and ask that, ooh, what's happening, guys? You see now, I've got load shedding. So I'm using my mobile device to connect. So let me make sure that my data is all right so that I don't get to lose you. I don't want to lose you. No, no, no. I don't want to lose you. I cannot lose you. So I'm quickly going to do that. Hopefully we are okay now. All right. So we have a comment here. Trifina says the presence of competition means that the customer have option to choose their business. Choose either your business or another business. Okay, I like that. Okay, I love how you're putting it, because it's really, it opens a person's mindset in terms of looking at the broader picture. So the presence of competition means that a customer has the option to choose either your business or another business. And that is true, guys. That is true. Obviously, if you have a shop and I have a shop, I cannot wake up every day and not want people to come to my shop, right? I would wake up every day wanting people to come to my shop, to visit my shop, right? So that is basically that. So you'll do whatever it takes to make sure that people come to your shop, right? Okay. For example, when there is competition, you know that customers are using your business not because you are the only one out there, but because amongst the others out there, you appealed to them the most. Hey now, I like it, I like it, I like it. I like it, I like it, I like it. And this is the power of competition and competing in the right way. And it means that you do not become comfortable in your business space. You don't become comfortable just thinking that, you know what, I got all the clients. But instead, you are aware of the fact that there are businesses out there that are actually doing what I'm doing. And having said that, that does not mean I should be pompous and feel like I got this and relax and just, think that customers will come. And I think there are very comfortable people out there that have got to a point where they feel like, you know what, I don't think I really need to push that hard because I already have clients. I mean, I'll make an example with retail stores. When you think of retail stores, think of your Pick and Pay, think of your Checkers, think of your Woolies, think of your ShopRite, if you are closer to ShopRite, think of any other retail store. Every day, people will eat food. Every day, people want to buy food. But now, do you think Pick and Pay is just relaxed to think that, no, we will get clients, we will get customers? We know that people always come every day. Do you think even other retail stores, your Checkers and everything, will just relax and not really push more and advertise value to the customers just because they know that people get hungry every day and they'll come and buy food? I don't think so. So we really need to look into that and understand that as much as you are actually offering this kind of service and clients are coming to you, that does not mean there's no one else out there who is offering the same. So I like that try. Thank you. You hear me, honey? Yes, yes. Yes, yes. I totally agree, Deli. Trifina is totally right. And I definitely agree with what she's saying. Now, I want us to get to this point. Exactly. That's a good example. Smart shopper points. The fact that they generated that smart shopper points, they want more people to come so that they can accumulate those points to get free stuff or to get to buy items that to get free stuff, actually. Yeah, that's basically it. Because when your points accumulate, you can actually use that money to buy. So it's basically free, or you've ended based on what you've bought. So yes, I love that example. So now this is the point that I have. And now remember, we are looking at the bigger perspective of not marketing of a competition, right? So now, do you feel like competition is overrated? Please comment and tell me if you feel like it's overrated. So here's another perspective. Competition is overrated. So stop worrying about it and just build a better product. So this is an example that I'm making when it comes to you offering a service. Yeah, just offering a service, whether you are selling something. So this is an example that I'm making in a business perspective, I guess. So stop worrying about it and just build a better product. Do you agree that one should stop worrying about competition and just build a better product? Now, you might think that we are digressing from what we engaged on previously, like just a few minutes ago, where we are emphasizing the importance of competition. But now, let's open our mind and understand this point. Do you think worrying too much about competitors is helpful to your business? Or should you rather instead focus on building a better product? What do you think? So here's what I think. So this is an opinion that I saw. I was reading on Medium. So someone had this perspective and I was like, okay, there are two ways of looking at it. Now, if you stop worrying about competitors, and you just focus on building a better product, that is good, yes. But now, something that you are not supposed to miss in that regard is that for you to know that you are building a better product, it means that you need to see, what your competitors are doing. It means that you need to know what's happening out there. So it's the same thing as going back to the SWOT analysis. It's the same thing as seeing what others want, what people want out there, right? But also, dwelling too much on what Delhi or Trifina or Phindile is offering, if you focus more on that, or what Tatra is offering, if you focus more on that and not create a better product, a unique product for yourself, that can be a downfall for you, because you focus more on what the competition is offering, and then you forget what your offer is, what you have like what you are offering in the business, what your unique way of doing business is. Because you can draw so much in looking at the competition, but you don't have the vision for the competition. As much as we are both a design agency or a coaching consultancy, my coaching can be different to your coaching. My design business can be different to yours. I might be designing and offering printing at the same time. You might be designing and just offering just digital, doing everything digitally, not necessarily printing. It can be many things. So it's a question of how do you stand out from all of this? How do you stand out from the competition? And how do you not focus more on what the other competitors are doing and focus on bettering your product or your brand, all right? So that is somehow, it can be a confusing factor, but I feel like it needs to be looked into in a way of how can you not, too much of something can be bad. So if you focus too much on what the competitors are doing, trying to match, you forget the initial goal of you building this and marketing it better. All right. So I feel like you as a brand, or you as a business, you as a personal brand, you need to strive more in terms of wanting competitors to actually be in your league. Meaning you should be striving in the way of your offering, in your way of offering business. So they should be the one looking at your business like, we have a high competition. Do you get my point? That is I think it's also a healthy way of doing it. Hey, Phindile, welcome. Better late than never, honey. Good morning, family. Morning, fam. Thank you for coming. You are late, but not so late. So you are still in the, in the motion of the topic. Now, let's talk about being competitive, the best way or in the right way. Now, so you think that you're competitive, right? So do I. I also think that I'm competitive. Let's assume that you think that I'm a competition. So I'll also think the same thing, right? Now, we also have people that feel like, no, I'm not in competition. I'm just doing me. I'm not in competition. So I'm just doing good. I'm just pushing my business and I'm not in competition with anyone, right? Now, how do you differentiate all three people? I'm in competition, you're in competition, and someone else is not in competition. They're just doing their thing. So are they wrong? Who's wrong? Who would you choose? Would you choose someone who is in competition? Who's not? Like, who would you choose? Who would you go for? What would you go for? Out of curiosity, what would you go for? All right. I might be confusing you, but I want you to really open your mind in terms of this. Now, we also have unchecked competition. And I think this is one that we need to really also consider looking at. Unchecked competition. So unchecked competition is, I think, a wrong way of competing, if I may say that. So something that you have to note about being in competition is that someone will win and someone will lose. So it's either or. It's either someone is going to win or someone is going to lose. So that is what competition is all about. Now, I believe that you as a brand, you as a person, you as a personality, you as a business, you want to strive, you want to win, right? So now, when unchecked competition happens, like for example, when you get to lose clients to a competitor, that ends up it becomes daunting to you. It becomes a problem for you, and you feel like, oh my God, this is really not it. So you dwell too much on the fact that you are losing, and you forget to look into what you can do better, what you can change, right? Now, things like fear and anxiety. Fear and anxiety also happens when it comes to business. If you are constantly worried about what someone else is doing, if you're constantly worried about how other companies are doing something better, that on its own is fear and anxiety, because you are fear and you're so anxious, like, oh my word, what if what I'm doing will not, happen the way I want? What if what I'm putting my mind into is not going to be it? What if what I thought about that competitor is not it? So I want us to look at this in a way that we should not really look too much into how others are competing. Understand the market. I think understand the market better. Then in that way, you will be able to see how you can prioritize better in terms of producing better work for your business, for your brand, and for you as a person. Because competition, some people compete in marriages, guys. Some people compete in relationships. Some people compete having kids. It's so weird. It's so weird that some people compete that, oh, okay, Pindi has 2 kids. I also want 2. Or Pindi has 2 and I have 1. I'm gonna make 2 so that I have 3. They compete. So you pass by my house and you see that I bought a new car. You like, nah, they have a new car. I'm gonna get a new car as well. So that is unchecked competition. That is a wrong competition, because now you are trying to be things that you're not, and you're deviating from the real way of doing things. And again, please note that fear and anxiety are 2 of the biggest killers of productivity. Fear and anxiety are the 2 biggest killers of productivity. So you will not do your best if you have fear. You will not do your best if you have anxiety. And that means that you will always be scared. Even if you want to try something, you won't give it your all. You already have a mindset that, you know what, I'm a competition, or this competition, I'm going to fail. So already your mindset is failing. You failing yourself before you can even start. So understand that fear and anxiety can actually kill your productivity in a business. So let's go to the comments. If you are in an industry that is not a monopoly, that automatically places you in a competition with people in the same industry as you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That is so clear, and I think every one of us understands this, because if you may be looking at a competition as something that is bad or whatever, or thinking that no, I'm not a competition, then you might be losing out on understanding that if you are in an industry, certain industry, it means that you are not alone in this field. So there is, that sort of analysis that needs to be done. So you need to take that into account, okay? Being competitive also has its disadvantages, such as people being labeled as consented. Consented. Don't kill me, ne? I know that you're going to kill me with pronunciation. Consented, right? Self-absorbed, too picky, yes, full of themselves, and not being flexible, and sometimes passive-aggressive. Yes, that's so true. That's so true. I think we all had a share of, such an experience where, people think, I've worked with different brands, especially in the media industry. I've worked with agencies where we would be in an expo and you would actually see different brands. When you approach them, they see that, okay, this is another agency. And even an engagement on its own, you are already labeled, or somehow they see you as, they see something different that is a threat to them, kind of thing. And yeah, so it can be very, very, it can be a disadvantage in that regard. But also, I think if we can open our mind into understanding the broader picture of it, then we know what is over, right? We will just be normal people and, run our businesses without really focusing on the negativity of it. It is best to balance your competitive traits, as well as learning from losing and knowing it is okay to lose. Yes, I like that. I like that you pointed that out, because earlier when I said that competition, the rule of competition is either you win or you lose, period. So it's either you win or you lose. Pindi says, competition in business is healthy. You are right. One shouldn't focus fully on what the other party is doing. Thank you for agreeing with me on that. And I apologize for my phone. I constantly need to make sure that the data is okay, because I see the buffering and all that, but hopefully it's not disturbing you on your side. So I definitely I agree with this, because if you are mainly too focused on what others are doing, you will forget your initial way of doing business, and you become what? You tend to rely more on how others are performing, so that you can boost yourself and push. And I think that could be a big danger, and especially whether you're a small or big business, And I think we can learn so much from bigger businesses. When we think of the intermediate businesses, when we think of how organizations run their businesses and how they are amongst competitors, but still they manage to strive. It's a question of how are they, how are their values aligned? How do they align their values, and how do they push and market their products? So this is broad. Competition is broad because it has so many things involved. All right. Yet, when you assess what your competitor is doing, it allows you to adopt best practices that you can customize to your brand. Yes, I agree. And you're going to bring me to the second point. That is not competition, it's envy, wanting what others people have. Thank you. You are really now you are straightening it, because often one would think that you wanting to do better than others, or it's said to be healthy competition. But now if you want what they have and you feel like I need to actually get the clients that they have, it means that you don't even have the ability to actually, be your own boss. You be your boss, where you do the work, put in the work, and make sure that you get your clients in the right way and well-deserved form, So I definitely agree. So envy that's why I was saying that, things like envy, things like being anxious, being fearful, it's some kind of a weakness in a way, because it means that you are weak. You can't really stand on your ground. You can't rely so much on yourself or on your ideas in business. Hence, you find yourself, wanting what others have. Is because you don't even trust yourself that much. Or it can mean that even what you have started, no matter how successful it is, it means it was built based on what others did, and you taking from there, and then you just happen to get lucky that things got to move. But because you have stolen someone's idea and all that, then that becomes a factor. That becomes a problem in the long run, because you are living with that guilt, that fear, that envy, that all of that. So yeah. Yes, ma'am. Proud of oneself. Okay. Consented. Okay. Consented. Consented. Am I spelling it right? Okay. Sis, my above view are on competition in business. It is a good thing. It's encouraged. It's not necessarily a matter of winning or losing, but being the best in your industry. I like that. Okay. I like that. And I agree with you. So the point that I was emphasizing was the fact that when you think of a competition, understand that in a business, or when you have a business, it's either you're going to make business or you're going to lose out. And that is a mindset that you should have, to say, okay, how do I keep winning in my business? You will always have to find ways to improve, ways to check how you can offer better savers to your clients and all that. Hence, I mentioned that when you create a better product and constantly look into improving in your business, then in that way, you will actually be fine. And if you can focus a lot more on the failures, that could be daunting to the business, right? So I definitely agree. And I hope that I didn't deviate from your point. But when it comes to competition concerning personal matters or our lives, well, that, madam, is a different story. I wouldn't encourage that on a personal level. One should live their own life. Yes, definitely, I agree with you. I definitely agree with you on that. So the reason why I also brought in a personal perspective, because I think, we have to try to look at all angles of competition and try to cover everything and somehow find a balance so that there can be a better understanding. Because some people, just when they think of competition, they're thinking of one way, whether in business, whether in their personal life, they look at it in one way. But I like the fact that you are pointing it out. I also don't think that one should actually live their life looking or competing with others and all that. You do not know my pockets. I don't know your pockets. I don't know your vision. You don't know my vision. And the mansion that you're living in, the cars that you have, I don't know whether you hired them, or I don't know that your house is actually a bond, or that house is just a temporary stay, or you are just in debts, or you have paid it in full, even the cars that you have. And I'm going to go to the car dealer to go take a car on credit. And what happens when I cannot keep up? That's a stress and whatnot happens. So we're not about that. We're really not about that. But thank you so much for bringing this point, because I think if we can always look at two perspectives of life, we will somehow have a good way of looking at it. Okay, Phindile, this is not good, as you lose focus on what you have been blessed with. Oh wow, I love it. I love that, because it's like now you are denying your own blessings and looking at what others have. So what you want was not yours, and that is very wrong. That is very wrong. That is so wrong. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you guys for the comment. Thank you so much for that. I love it. So I want to make a practical example when it comes to like being competing. I think let me make a relatable example. So okay, so before that, we still have comments. Okay, let me see. Some of these cars are hired, girl. They are hired. Yet we sit and want to compete with you, Lord. Great points. Exactly. And that is like so not right, because we don't know. Even the clothes, the Gucci bags, the whatnot, the Louis Vuitton. Do you guys know that? Do you guys know that some people actually hire those Louis Vuitton bags or the boxes just to have them as display and all that? Like, it's a lot. Like, you busy hiring an empty box for how much? Just to have it as a display. For what? Why? Anyway, we're not there. Me developing me. Oh, I like it. You know what? Me developing me. I love it. I love this name. I'm my own competition. Okay, girl? Indeed, we are not about competing with others. It is me versus me. I like that. I like that, because you are now also bringing that perspective of I am capable of staying in my own lane and pushing my own business and looking at how I can make it better without actually competing. And remember earlier I asked the question. So I'm competitive, you're competitive, and me developing me says I'm not competitive. Which one are you going for? And being competitive means that I want to be better in my business. Your way of being competitive means that you really want to take up space and fill in the whole space, and no one else should actually match you, right? And then there's me developing me saying, no, you know what? Nthabi is doing the same thing as me. It's okay. Let her do her. I will do me. I will push my business, and then it's fine. I will go on. So which one do you go for? Do you see that there's different perspective in this? And in that regard, if you are, in my opinion, I would go with me developing me, focusing on my own business, and also this competitive, me being in competition to better my product and looking at ways to improve based on what is trending, what the customers want, what makes my clients happy, and also how other markets are actually merging in terms of, growing in their business. Okay, so there's a healthy way and a so not unhealthy way. And I love the fact that you bring in this point, because it makes me want to come to this point to say that it is okay for you to just stay in your lane and do you. It is okay. It's okay to be as unique as possible and to work on yourself. And I believe that there are a lot of things that we're doing. And this brings me to the example that I want to make. So there's a lot of things that we are doing on earth, even starting a business. So a business that you start, chances are someone else already had that business, okay? So if you're starting a business, it means that it's already existing. So I'm going to make a practical example with YouTube. So I'm going to I'm going to ask this question. Is YouTube a competition? Is being on YouTube a competition? And I think anyone who has a YouTube channel would somehow relate. Is being on YouTube a competition? Is being on YouTube a competition? All right. So this is my definition of YouTube. YouTube is a platform where it's a platform that is knowledge-based, right? Okay, let me firstly read this and I'll come back. By virtue of being in business, that is not a monopoly. You are directly placed in competition with other businesses in your industry. You said it, honey. Put a stamp on it. Yes, I'm putting a I'm putting a stamp on that, because that is definitely true. And as a person in business, I really understand this, and I understand that it is there, it exists, and you can't run away from it, and you can't actually have a productive business if none of this is included or is looked into. So I definitely agree with you. I agree, honey. So now, is being on YouTube a competition? So here's my perspective about YouTube. YouTube is a platform that is knowledge-based. So if you want to be knowledgeable and learn, you can consider being on YouTube, correct? Now, a lot of people, especially now when the lockdown started, most people were saying, YouTube is now saturated. Like there's no longer space for everyone. Like everyone wants to be on YouTube. Excuse me. Everyone wants to be on YouTube. Everyone is starting a YouTube channel. So now here's my perspective of it. Can you get enough of knowledge? Can you say that you've learned enough? Can you ever say that you have nothing else to learn in your life? Can you ever say that you don't need to unlearn certain things in life? Can you say that, you know what, this is me, I'm enough? The fact that I've read all this 10 or how many books I hear, the fact that I've read these books, I'm done. The knowledge that I have from reading this is done. I'm not going to need anything. So are you going to have that perspective in life? Because here is the thing. Something about YouTube is that where you can get knowledge, you can never stop learning. So just because a lot of people are on YouTube, you might think that, ooh, the competition is too high. Now, let's look at it this way. So see now, the network is buffering again. Please give me a sec. Load shedding is doing the things, but comment so long, guys. I'm gonna answer. By the way, I'm loving this conversation, and I appreciate your engagements, guys. It's so beautiful. You guys have, like, you are really making this Ooh, you bought, okay. You are making this topic really broad and you are breaking it down. And I believe that it's helping someone who did not realize, the difference between all of this. Right, we have Mpo. Hi, Mpo, Big on Healing. No, being on YouTube is not a competition. Okay, thank you for your comment. Let's read. The best content by staying, the best content by staying in your lane. Your light will always shine through. You learn from others, granted. Mara, you got to do you. That's the fun part of it. I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. You're saying that. I love this part when you say you learn from others, granted, which is fine. Mara, you got to do you. I love that. I'm coming back to that point. Pindi says, in economics, we define direct competition as a circumstance where you and other businesses sell the same products to the same customers. Yes, the fact that the fact that you sell the same products, you are in competition. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You have explained it. I think we all understand it that way. I love that because I think you are somehow bringing me to this, the simplest way of summarizing the competition part, to say, if you are not in the same market and all that, it means that you are not in competition with that people, with that particular industry or company and all that. So direct competition is when Pindi is selling makeup products and I'm selling makeup products. It's when Pindi is selling t-shirts and I'm selling t-shirts. So definitely I'm with you there. So now, when it comes to YouTube, in my opinion, we are all on YouTube okay, YouTube at the end of the day becomes a business. In the long run, becomes a business, okay? Because there's some kind of benefit on it, right? And what you want, or there are ways that there are things that need to be done so that you can achieve a certain thing. Like, for example, for you to be able to start getting monetized, it means that you have to get to 1,000 subscribers, have 4,000 watch time. Now, if you are a YouTuber and you're only starting, how will you find out if you're doing things the right way? So I personally, when I started YouTube, or when I started being serious on YouTube, I did go, to different YouTube channels and see how they do their channels and how they, do their content and all that. And I was looking at that, just trying to find a way, especially those that are more aligned to the kind of content that I want to create, just to check, okay, how are they producing their content, and how, how are the engagements, how are people receiving that? And there's no lie when it comes to us engaging on a similar category when it comes to content that we're creating. If the category is the same, there are high chances that you can actually take the statistics based on those particular people that are on the similar field. But having said that, that does not mean that what Phindile is doing on her channel, seeing that, okay, I'm doing a content on marriage and relationships and all of that. If Pindi is doing that and I'm doing that, and I can see that, okay, Pindi really gets so much views and engagements on this topic, so it means that if I can do it like Pindi is doing, I will get engagements. That is where we get it all wrong. So where we get it all wrong is that we are now not looking at how you can actually, you are not doing your research properly, because what you're trying to research is what are most people engaging on. And remember that Pindi's audience, they are not your audience, not at the time, right? And there are chances that they might not, or they might, depending on how your content goes and if it reaches them, okay? So my point is, when it comes to competition, YouTube in my perspective, is not competition. It's okay, there is competition in it, but you compete with yourself more than wanting to compete with other people. Because this one is really, and you can even relate it to business, but I want to just make it simple to say, when you compete with yourself on YouTube, you look at, okay, I'm aware that other YouTubers are doing this, and I'm learning 1, 2, 3. Just like Beacon Healing was saying that, okay, you can somehow, learn a little bit from others, but that doesn't mean you have to use what they're using. You have to find your unique way of doing things or creating content. And I believe that is the best way of looking at it, to say, okay, so as much as I can see what others are doing, what can I do better? What can I do good for me? And in this instance, it's not a matter of you doing better than someone else, but it's you doing what's best for you and your customers. Sorry, I keep pointing. My apologies. It's a question of what is it that you can do better for you and your audience? Is what your audience receiving what you want to give out? Is it what's right or what you want to send out? Because remember that if you are not as authentic and as real in terms of delivering your content, chances are it will not be received the right way. So we can even relate it to even businesses, to say you cannot take someone's mission statement and put it on your company and say, this is what we offer. You are the designer of your own world. What does that mean? What does that mean when you say you are the designer of your own world? What does that mean? If you say that I want to create marriage content, I want to create empowerment content, what does that mean to you and your audience? What do you want your audience to receive? And how are you even willing to do it? How are you even willing to even get to a point where now, when you start making this a serious, because it's, guys, the fact that you're putting time, effort, money, like it or not, you're putting money on YouTube. I'm on YouTube because I love talking. I've got a lot to say, a lot of good things to say, and I'm empowering and inspiring. And this platform, it gives me the opportunity to be able to do that more. And not just in a shorter way, but in a broader way. And I love also engaging and understanding what other people think. And before I could even realize that YouTube can actually be in a business form, before that, already my mindset was, I'm here to, somehow share my knowledge and grow my audience in terms of the work that I do. And also applying even, affiliate marketing as well, because the platforms that we use, they need to also benefit us in a way. I'm in business. I got clients from here just engaging about my website, engaging about the work that I do on IL Designs. I got to get clients that wanted website, that wanted hosting, that wanted banners, posters, and all of those. I got them. So I was able to market myself. Now, realizing that, okay, I can actually get monetization here. I can get monetized. So what did I do? I started understanding that, you know what, the fact that I'm putting so much time here, I'm doing this out of passion and all that. But also, I should have in the back of my mind that there is a goal that I need to reach. I want to see myself getting 100K subscribers and building that as an audience. Not just as an audience, but an empowered and transformed audience, but also an audience that could also benefit me in terms of what I do, and also find even clients. Let's just be honest, guys. Let's just be true and be clear about the bigger goal, because you might have, the small vision when it comes to what your goal is with your channel. And it's okay. When you start, your vision might be, okay, I just want to engage and build a community. As you grow, you realize, okay, so I've got more audience, and this is what I've offered them. This is how they've transformed. I think if I can put this angle, then I can do better. Now, right there, what you're doing, you are competing with yourself. You are competing with yourself and finding unique ways of offering your value and unique ways of growing your brand, growing your business as a person, and doing that also on YouTube. So the fact that there's money when it comes to YouTube at the end of the day, it means that this is a business. So in my way, I would say to you that be as authentic as possible, but also treat YouTube as a business. If you are not even, considering treating it as a business, then I think you should. So what do I mean when I say treat it like a business? Take it serious. Take what you're doing serious. Take your work serious. When you come to YouTube, make sure that you have done your work. Do not come, because I feel like, here's the thing. We are not deviating from the topic, guys. So I think this YouTube point is obviously just a generic way of just looking at a broader space, right? So when you wake up in the morning to sit and engage and want Pindi, want me developing me, want Sibu, want Trifina, want Tato to be here and watching, want Mpo to be here and watching, the fact that they're using their data and time, it means that they are losing out on something that they could be doing. So you cannot just come here and not taking your work serious. So imagine me coming here and like, okay, guys, we're going to talk about competition. So tell me, what's competition? What not? And I'm not engaging you. So what does that mean? It means that I'm wasting your time and I'm wasting my time. So we need to also look in that way to say, sometimes competition is you need to compete with yourself. You need to look at how you can keep improving yourself, not with other people. So in YouTube's perspective, I think that's the best way to do it. But now, how do you improve in terms of being more competitive or being better? On YouTube, the best way you can compete is to always improve and to learn more about how you can do 1, 2, 3, and how, all the YouTube tips that are best when it comes to this platform. Okay, I spoke too much about YouTube. All right. Me Developing Me says, inspire us. We will innovate in this content creation. Thank you, honey. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So yes, I appreciate that. That is my aim. In this channel, my aim is to empower and transform. That is what we're about here. Guys, it's 9 o'clock. I feel like we went on and on, but I love this conversation. I feel like we were like on fire, We were on fire. Now, there's something that I want to read out to you. And then after that, we do the takeaway and then we're done. And this is not my handwriting. I got this as I was reading and doing my research. And I felt like, oh, this is interesting. Let's read it out. So this is the point. Ooh, sorry. Okay. So this is the first part. This is the first part. Don't wear competitiveness as a badge of honor because it doesn't matter. At best, it means you are focused and engaged. At worst, it means that you are what's this word? Oh, divisive, sorry. At the worst, it means that you are divisive and unapproachable. Being competitive is overrated and overdone. Let's move away from the zero-sum. Sorry, I didn't want to put the word nonsense, but it's there. I just copied it like this. And spend our time doing the things that help all of us win. So I hope that this makes sense. Let me read it again because I feel like my English was just not right. So don't wear competitiveness as a badge of honor because it doesn't matter. At best, it means that you're focused and engaged. At worst, it means that you are divisive and approachable. Being competitive is overrated and overdone. Let's move away from the zero-sum and spend your time doing the things that help that help all of us win. I'm for that. I'm for that. Let us not focus on the things that kill us and focus on the things that can make all of us win. So I am for that. I don't know about you. Please comment and tell me what you are taking from this video. Are you for that? Are you for all of us winning in our own space, whether we are in competition, in the same field or not? Yeah, but anyway, was distracted today, Nthabi. We'll catch up later. Oh, we'll catch up later. No worries, honey. No worries. I know for a fact that you will make time, and I appreciate that about you. So it's okay. I understand. So let's do the takeaway. Takeaway. And then we go, guys. Wow. Wow, this was amazing. This was a deep conversation. Like, hey, I know it was hectic, guys. It was, yeah. I think we really deserve this conversation, and especially if we are brands, we are building ourselves, we are aiming to develop ourselves when it comes to our businesses, to find ways of growing and ways of making things better in our businesses. So I'm actually glad that we had this conversation. Now, what are we taking away from this? So what I'm taking away from all of this is that, number one, if you and I have a similar product that we're selling or we are in the same space, it means that there is bound to be competition. It means that the fact that you sell tomatoes and I sell tomatoes, it means that you are my competitor. And how do I get to be better? I get to be better by also always looking into how I can better my business, how I can do my business better than you, or not necessarily you, but looking into how my clients are actually receiving the work that I do, and if my savers can actually improve. And if you are my threat, I should always look at, okay, how can I better that? How can I shift away from being threatened by this other competition that I have? How can I make things better for my business? All right. So what is the next takeaway? So we spoke about, in competition, it's either you win or lose. And as much as we know that, okay, in terms of competition, there's either a win or a lose, that does not mean that you should really focus on the fact that, okay, I'm in the competition because I want to win and I want Trifina, I want Phindile, I want me developing me to fail. It's not about that. It's all about how can you win as a business? How can you strive as a business? Even though the competitors are there, how do you keep winning? How do you focus more on your business and how do you see it grow? And how do you get to differentiate all the angles, all this analysis that you need to do? How do you get to work around those and keep focus on your brand, keep focus on delivering the best in your business? So that is another takeaway. So what is the third takeaway? What are we taking away? Whew. I feel like I spoke way too much. What is another takeaway? So another takeaway is that we also have to understand that you are also in competition with yourself. Competing with yourself is like, it means that you are focusing on you, you're focusing on your own business, you're focusing on how you do things better yourself, without looking at what others are doing, without looking at what others are actually how they are pricing their products, how they are selling their product, without looking into that. And I think using a YouTube example was really a good one to really say that at times you will need to actually get some ideas or somehow learn from what others are doing and somehow test the market, test that category to see, okay, what are most people looking out for? And statistics don't lie. If we get into a place where it's a conference or it's a seminar about business, if more people are there in terms of wanting to know more about that business, you can get good stats in terms of understanding that, okay, so majority of these people were there because they have interest in knowing more about business, and they engage on this kind of content, that kind of content. So what does that mean? That means that, okay, so most people are likely to actually engage more on a content like this one, on content about entrepreneurship, on content about, you know, creating a business or starting a business, on content about design and development. So it can be anything. So that is basically that. So I think that is our takeaway. And the last takeaway is the fact that when we apply this takeaway, I mean, when we apply this competition, and especially looking also in our personal life, because I think we based it a lot on business, which is a good thing. I felt like we needed to actually base it more on that, because for us to get to certain levels, whatever that we're doing, if we aim to grow our brands and everything, it means that we are in business and we want to prosper in our businesses, right? So I feel like it was actually great that we had positioned it more in the business aspect. Now, this last point, which, you know, we made an example in terms of personality, or you as a person trying to compete with other people just because, oopsie, I almost dropped my cup. Maybe it was a sign that I should have a sip, and it's so cold and there's load shedding, so I'm having iced coffee right now. So the last point, which is, you know, looking at it in a personal perspective, guys, when it comes to competing with your friend, competing with your neighbor, competing with your siblings, competing with your friends, just because they've got all the nice things, all the cars, all the whatnot, and you are competing with them, please know that that is not the way. Let us not be in competition. Let us not compete with other people. Just because you see me driving a Maserati, you want to go and buy a Maserati tomorrow, and you do not know that I actually bought my Maserati cash, yet you want to put yourself in that strain. You do not know my vision. You don't know how much I have in my bank account. Just because I live in a double, triple story mansion and you feel like I'm moving out, I'm actually getting an island or something like that. Do not do that. Do not compete. Stay in your own lane. You know, find your own way of doing things. Be in competition with yourself. You know, when it comes to your life, you cannot play a gambling business when it comes to your life, because you will drown. You will just be miserable, because you might find yourself losing more because you're trying to compete with someone else and you see that they're flourishing, and instead of you flourishing, you see that money is going down the drain, and the people that you're trying to compete with, you see them continuing to go to level up. And it's because they know what they're doing, they know their mission, and they know their vision, they know their pockets, and you don't know your pocket. Okay, so I think I'll leave it there. So with that said, thank you so much for watching. I love and appreciate you, and thank you so much for being here, for watching until the end. I mean, I appreciate that. It's not always where you get people watching until the end, but I always say that I watch until the end. I just don't get why people do not watch videos until the end. I don't get it. If I watch a video and I'm enjoying the video, I do not skip it. I watch it until the end. So if you are that person who's like me, I appreciate you. And if it's your first time here and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing to my channel and like this video, guys. Like. If you're watching, do like it. Don't just go away without liking, so that YouTube can send it out to more people. We want to grow this family. All right. Okay, what's our comment? Hi, Bo. I want the Maserati. Hi, Kel. I like this. Hi, Bo. I want the Maserati. Thank you for the conversation. Well done, girl. Thank you, sis. Listen, I understand that you want a Maserati. You get me? Yes, want that Maserati, but please, just because I have one, don't want it because I have it, girl. Let it be because it's in your vision board, okay? Let it be because it's in your vision board. So Last week we created a vision board. You see, those are my two cuts there. So we created a vision board on one of our morning glory where we said, let's create a digital vision board, and you put the things that you want on your vision board and save it as your screensaver on your phone, whether you keep it for a month. So the idea is to keep it for a month or whatever. So I'm keeping mine for the longest time, as long as I want. So I'm not even worried. Even as your screensaver, you can actually save that. So yeah, get that Bona, girl, go get it. Go get that Maserati. Put it on your vision board. You see, mine is here. There. Can you see it? There. It's yellow. It's yellow in color, my girl. So yeah, that's about it. I think we've come to the end of this video. It was beautiful. I'm really humbled by all of you guys. Yes, girl. Yeah. I'm really happy that we had this conversation, and I appreciate the engagements. It was so amazing. We went on for an hour. Oh, wow. And yeah, and load shedding is still load shedding in my house. So it means that I'm going to have to now say goodbye and see what I can do, and probably do some designs or something, and see how I can, work and wait for electricity to come back. But anyway, with that said, thank you so much. I'm wishing you a productive day, and I thank you for being here until this long. And if I kept you for longer and I took your time, I apologize. Please warn me if you feel like if I'm going too long, because the idea of the morning glory videos is to go on for 30 minutes. But now when I see the engagements going, I feel like, no, man, we can push because there's just so much information. And I think I'm more directed by you. If the conversation is flowing and you're still here, it means that we are good to go. But of course, if maybe you wish I could just strictly keep it to 30 minutes, please tell me, then I'll do it, because this is not just my platform, but it's our platform, and together we can do more. All right. Okay, so thank you guys. This is goodbye. See you tomorrow morning. Please do subscribe if you haven't. Like. I love you always. Thank you for your time, for your engagements. You guys were awesome today, and I can't help but say, hey, thank you. I appreciate you. Okay, bye. If I keep talking, we won't end this. Goodbye. Let me zip my mouth. Goodbye. We don't have any other comments. I didn't miss any comments. Let's see if I missed any comments. Nope. I didn't miss anything. So this is goodbye. I love you always. Enjoy your day.